In a land where the earth had forgotten the taste of rain and the dust choked the cries of the hungry, one young man's hands held the key to a kingdom's survival. Sadiq thought he was merely carving wood to pass the time, but the Kalgo tree had been listening to the secrets of the ancestors for centuries. When his blade struck deep, he didn't find just timber. He awakened a silent drum that refused to stay quiet about the lies of the powerful. In a city built on deception, the truth is about to beat louder than the thunder. Imagine a time when the world was older and the walls of the city were the color of a sunset. This was Zazao, a place where the red earth rose up to meet the sky and the elders spoke in riddles that tasted like wisdom. Among the people lived a young man named Sadiq. He did not own cattle and his pockets were often empty, but his hands were magic. Sadiq was a carver. He worked with the wood of the sacred Kalgo tree, turning rough branches into drums that looked as though they were breathing. He lived by a simple rule his father left him. The land is not silent, my son. If you treat it with respect, it will find a voice to speak for you. But a shadow fell over Zazao. The rain forgot the way home. For months, the clouds teased the farmers and then vanished. The wells became dusty pits, and the ribs of the cattle began to show like the ridges of a washboard. The emir, draped in his heavy robes, sat upon his throne with a heavy heart. The priests prayed, and the wealthy offered sacrifices, but the sky remained as hard as iron. In the middle of this heat, Sadiq sat outside his hut. He was tired, but he had a piece of Kalgo wood that felt different. It was heavy. It was cold despite the sun. As Sadiq peeled away the bark, his blade struck something that wasn't wood. He pried the log open, and there, nestled in the heart of the tree, sat an ancient drum. It was wrapped in leather so dark it seemed to swallow the moonlight. Sadiq didn't touch it at first. He didn't have to. As the midnight wind brushed past, the drum began to beat. Then came the voice. It didn't come from a mouth. It rose from the ground itself, vibrating through the floor of the hut. It said, "Beat me only at midnight, and beat me only for the truth." Sadiq was a man of his word. At the stroke of midnight, with a trembling hand, he struck the leather. The drum whispered a secret that made his blood run cold. The water sleeps beneath the hill of lies. The next morning, Sadiq stood before the emir. He told his story, but the court was filled with men who had grown fat while the city grew thin. They laughed. They called him a dreamer, a madman, a weaver of tall tales. But the emir saw the look in Sadiq's eyes, the look of a man who had nothing to gain and everything to give. "Take us to this hill," the emir commanded. They marched to the Hill of Lies, a place the common folk avoided. As the guards dug under Sadiq's direction, they didn't just find water. They struck wood, then stone. Deep beneath the earth, the corrupt officials had built a fortress of greed. They had hidden the city's grain reserves and diverted a natural spring to fill their own private jars. The crowd went silent. The emir's face turned to stone as the truth was dragged into the light. That night, the sky finally broke. The rain didn't just fall, it danced. It washed the dust from the walls of Zazao and filled the empty bellies of the people. Sadiq went back to his hut to thank the drum. But when he reached for it, the dark leather was gone. The wood was just wood again, silent and still. Its job was done. The people named Sadiq the Keeper of Truth. And they say that even now, if you walk the red streets of Zazao at midnight, you should listen closely. If your heart is heavy with a secret, be careful, for the earth still remembers how to speak. because truth has a voice, but only the honest can hear it.